Welcome to the Action Network studio in New York City. I'm Maria Marino, and this is Green Dot Daily. We're live every weekday at 3 Eastern on the Action Network YouTube channel and the Action app. On today's show, it's 3 p.m. somewhere, so of course we'll have a three-point player prop for tonight's NBA playoff game, and we'll talk NHL with Michael Leboff and why he likes the over in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll have MLB picks for you as well. But for the third time this postseason, the Heat punched first in a series despite being on the road, beating the Celtics by 7 Wednesday. Celts were 8.5-point favorites, and per our Evan Abrams, this was their 20th loss as a favorite of 5 points or more, the most for a team in a single season in the Bet Labs database, which goes back to 2005. Here with Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla postgame.
You said they played harder than you in the third quarter. That's what they do. They play harder than their opponent. How are you guys unprepared for that?
And we were prepared. We played harder than them in the first half, and then they outplayed us for one quarter. So we were prepared for it. We had the right mindset heading into the game. We had the right mindset heading into the game. We played harder than they did, and we were prepared, and we did a great job.
The third quarter made all the difference, right?
It did, but we were prepared, and then we let go of the rope. And so there's two storylines here. It's one, we were ready to play, and we had a great job executing on both ends of the floor in the first half. And it's about the consistency of they're going to continue to play. And so we have to be prepared for when we do outplay them, that they're going to respond and we have to respond. And so we were prepared. We just let go of the rope.
Woohoo, things getting heated, pun intended, as we bring in our NBA writer Brandon Anderson now, and you were all over this Game 1 outcome. You took the Heat last night, you took them in the series, but how do you feel about Game 2 coming up?
Yeah, look, this is a spot we've done on Green Dot before. The home team down 0-1 in Game 2. This has been a hammer spot, not just this playoffs, but for a while now. Teams are 16-0 in their last 16 games here, straight up. This postseason, 7-0 straight up by 17.7 points a game in the spot. Home, Game 2, down 0-1 in the series. It's a mentality sort of thing. The road team came here, they just want to steal one. They got the first game, and you kind of dust your hands. You're like, all right, let's go back to South Beach. All right, we gave it a good shot. We got our split. Let's go home. Now, they are 6-1 ATS on the spot, and it's worth noting here, of course, the Heat have now won Game 1 on the road all 3 series. So the Heat have lost Game 2 both times. They are responsible for the one cover, so we should be careful with that. But that was against the Heat, the fraudulent Heat, I might add, and only by 1 point. So the Heat are 0-2 straight up in this spot here. And I like the first half and the full game line. Boston first half has been very profitable, really all season, plus 9.2 net rating on the season. Number 1 in the regular season. They're even higher net rating in the playoffs. They're up 9 even in this Game 1 before blowing it late. So I like the first half minus the 5.5. I like the full game. I see we're at minus 8.5, so that's actually come down a little bit. Thank God. I don't know where they're coming up with this line from. They're trying to scare us away from this Game 2 spot, but I'm not scared off of it. By the way, that first half line in this same spot, home Game 2, down 0-1. Teams are plus 11 in the first half on average this playoff. So this is a good spot to just grab the Celtics, get them early. Don't screw around this time and close them out. Make a few more shots, and then I think we go to Miami 1-1.
I really like that that first half spot because, as you heard from Joe Mazzulla, they should be prepared in the first half. But as far as that Game 2 cover exception, you talked about the fraudulent Knicks. I doubt that the Celtics will, be a repeat of that just because they're so much more talented. But then again, the Celtics team, they just continue to surprise me throughout this postseason. Meanwhile, Western Conference Finals, Game 2 tonight. How does what you saw in Game 1 inform your picks?
Yeah, so the big thing we saw at the end of Game 1 that everyone's been talking about is the Rui Hachimura adjustment, right? So they put the smaller, still a big dude, but not Anthony Davis. They put the smaller guy on Nikola Jokic. And I'm not even really sure that Hachimura like shut him down. You don't really shut a guy down when you're putting up like historic 40, 15, 12 or whatever ridiculous line that he had. But the key thing is not really that Hachimura shut Jokic down. It's that he hung, and that releases Anthony Davis to play more the free safety role, right? Where he can kind of just hang back in the paint and just create havoc there. So that's the role we saw in the Warriors series. That was the key. When Golden State pulled Davis out away from the hoop and got him in the action, those were the games Golden State won, when he was able to just kind of like destroy in the paint and play more freelance role. That's where the Lakers were successful. And so we saw that at the end of game one. I like Anthony Davis then to have another big defensive game. I'll play the over 3.5 blocks and steals combined. I rather play those two together. NBA gets really weird with how they track steals and blocks and which one was that? Was he going up for a shot? So I'll just play them both together. He had 3 steals, 2 blocks in game one. 3 of those, we'll call them stocks when they're together. 3 of those were against Jokic. So even if he is guarding him one-on-one, I mean, look, my guy can't really get off the ground. So Davis can still get up and get the block shot like he did on a couple of those. He had a 5-game stocks against Jokic in the regular season as well. And then for the playoffs, now 13 games, he's over 3.5 stocks in 10 out of those 13. So 77% hit rate, averaging 4.7 stocks a game. So those are pretty standard play here. Anthony Davis just making some more defensive plays for the year.
I have to hand it to him. He played really well in game one, and I do think that the Lakers sort of unlocked something or figured something out. Not sure if it's going to translate to a win or even a cover, but any other props that you like for this game?
Yeah, I'll do one more here, and you'll notice I also am not really playing a side or a total here tonight. I'm a little bit thrown like you are. I'm just going to play these props here. Another angle kind of similar to what we saw in game one. I really liked what we saw from Michael Porter Jr. So the Nuggets played big in this game with MPJ out there. And I thought that he did a really good job of playing big, meaning playing to his size. He gets accused sometimes of being like a tall Klay Thompson. And we know for as good as Klay is, he just takes a lot of shots, but then doesn't get a lot of rebounds or assists or do a lot of other things. They need Michael Porter Jr. to not do that in this game. If they're going to put Austin Reeves on him like the Lakers did in game one, Porter can just go up right over him. And he did that a few times and hit the shot. He also played big on the glass. And the thing that's been interesting with Michael Porter Jr. is he is an elite rebounder. He has been his entire career, high school, college, NBA. He's awesome as a rebounder. It's just not always the way that Denver deploys him. But we saw it in this game. He had 10 rebounds here. Now, he only had 12 rebounding chances. Normally, that would be a little bit of a worry for me. But for the playoffs, he is at 75% rebounding chance percentage, meaning that 75% of those opportunities he's converting into rebounds. And that's second in the entire playoffs. Only Bobby Portis is higher. So that shows just how good, when he gets the chance, when he's not just hanging out behind the three-point line, he's getting those rebounds. He's playing that size. And I think that they need him to do that. We might even, as the series goes on, see perhaps some lineups where Porter plays the 4 and they kind of force, again, Anthony Davis not to guard Aaron Gordon hanging out at the dunker spot. That's a possibility. But what if he has to get out to the perimeter and try to guard Michael Porter Jr. out there? Again, it's the chess match. Can you get Davis away from the basket? So I like the Porter rebounds over 6.5. He had 10 in game one. He had a double-double. I see a plus 575 on the double-double. He only had 3 double-doubles all regular season, 4 already in the playoffs. So that shows you how he is getting those rebounds now. The 10 points should be a pretty easy part of that. So I think that's a good way to do an escalator on MPJ as well.
Really interesting, and I appreciate you sort of bringing that to light for us.